Hi, and welcome back to our series of lectures on responding to world religions. And today I want to look at one way of very easily understanding some of the major religions. And this comes from Derek Cooper's book on Christianity and world religions from 2013, where he takes six religions, actually he takes five, but he talks about six major stories and tries to give just a brief, few word summary of those religions using the idea of story. And I like that because it appeals, first of all, it appeals to most of us, to the fact that we like stories as well, and to the idea that religions really are trying to tell a story that talks about the nature of the universe, the nature of our relationship to the universe, etc., etc. So, Cooper begins with chronologically what many people would consider to be the oldest religion, and that would be Hinduism. And Hinduism grew out of a very diverse culture in India and worship of many different gods. And so he calls Hinduism the story of diversity and devotion, which I think we can use all of these brief summaries as a kind of a cliff notes of what that particular religion is all about. Of course, it doesn't tell the whole story by any means, and I don't mean to overgeneralize, but it does help give us a way of contrasting as well some of the religions. So Hinduism is this story of diversity and devotion. And then moving on, perhaps chronologically, is Buddhism. And of course, Buddhism is based on the experiences, the teaching of the Buddha, who achieved enlightenment. And Buddhism is about attempting as well to achieve enlightenment now. And talking about people who have achieved enlightenment. So Cooper refers to Buddhism as the story of enlightenment. And then as well, moving forward a little bit chronologically, moving then from India into China, Confucianism and Taoism, which are mostly focused on the world around us and how we relate to the world around us and relate to nature as well. So Cooper refers to Confucianism and Taoism, these two old Chinese philosophies or religions, as the stories of order and nature. And then coming back to the Middle East and to chronologically perhaps the next religion, Judaism, the story of tradition and identity. And of course, the Jews are this chosen nation, consider themselves to be the chosen nation by God, but they're also a nomadic nation, which eventually they reach their land of promise, Israel, but then they lose that land. And so we know that for a number of centuries, the Jews wandered most of Europe or the Middle East or North Africa. And so for them, a key factor is understanding who they are. So Cooper calls it Judaism the story of tradition and identity. And then Cooper refers to Islam. And of course, in Islam, Allah is omniscient, all powerful, and the call for a Muslim is to be completely submitted to Allah. So Cooper refers to Islam as the story of submission, really highlighting how important it is for Muslims to be submitted to God. Now, I said that there's six stories from the major religions, and you might have already been counting and seen, wait a minute, there's only five. And actually, chronologically, we skipped one. Cooper actually doesn't refer to this religion either. But let's talk about that religion, Christianity. And of course, I'm speaking as a Christian, so it's important for me also to understand what's the story of my religion. And so that's a question for you too. What would you say is the story of Christianity? And by story, I don't mean necessarily that it's not true, but what is it that Christianity is trying to tell the rest of the world? What is the story of Christianity? A couple of possibilities might be the story of a loving God who wants relationship with people. My personal favorite is Christianity is the story of Jesus Christ, God in human form. But maybe your idea of Christianity's story is a little bit different. I'd love to hear it, actually, if you get a chance ever to put it in comments.